to tell you how much of the country I'm in, I had to avoid a flock of chickens and a duck in the middle of the road. I mean, they were everywhere, and there was a duck among them.
The Silver Dasher.
Morning. It is Wednesday, Christmas Eve, and sparking in the morning. Already got my order. It's a double shopping, a little over $32, about 13 miles. Both customers, and I look at the items. Not very much, 18 for one, 8 for another. Says it's going to take about an hour. So anyway, so bar started, heading towards Walmart, and let's see how sparking will happen on on Christmas Eve. So anyway, so on the Walmart, and then shopping, and then the double customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just finished dropping off those shopping. The first one was the biggest one. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of these people, I talked to other shoppers this morning, everybody wants Christmas candy. Well, guess what? They're gone. So, not going to happen. But I got most of the stuff for everybody.
Take your next right onto Moss Thornton Road.
And then I picked up, just as I dropped off, I picked up another shopping. $17 for 11 miles. I'm pretty far away from the shop, but it took it. But it's one item. I think it's a bulk item. So yeah, it's shopping, and it's the morning. So yeah, I'm out here in the country. I'm up here in Talladega. Had to tell you how much of the country I'm in, I had to avoid a flock of chickens and a duck in the middle of the road. I mean, they were everywhere, and there was a duck among them. So, but it's nice. It's 52 degrees. It's not windy. Just some clouds in the sky. It's a very beautiful day. Hope it stays like this all day. But I tell you what, I never seen so many Spark shoppers this morning. Man, there was like 30 of us. Holy crap. Speaking of which, as we were in the checking line, Spark only has 1 or 2 registers. Pell City allows us to, Spark to have its own register. Oxford don't. You got to wait in line like everybody else. I talked to several people and I said, yeah, I don't do shopping. And I made the comment, I don't do pickups anymore. And they said they don't either because theirs constantly get canceled. And one guy said he waited 90 minutes for his pickup. Walmart's got to be aware of this. It's got to be aware of this. I told them the story. I went to the Anniston Walmart. I did 2 pickups, and I got the orders within 15 minutes of me arriving. So something's going on. So anyhow, making my way back to Walmart to do this quick shopping, and that's the plan for the rest of the day. I'm only going to take shopping. This one may be my last one today, but it's Christmas Eve. I'm just going to go home, waiting for shopping orders, and continue to do stuff I need to do at home, and we'll see how this venture happens today. So, anyway, on to Walmart and shopping. See you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that very small shopping order. It was one item. It was a child's playhouse. Big, huge thing. Big box. For little girls. It was a little Tyke's playhouse with a door, And I said, man, would they actually have it? They actually had it. I had to, when I originally found the barcode, and it scanned it, so it was the wrong one. What do you mean? The picture shows it exactly. Well, it looks like they're recycling the boxes because that barcode was for a Red Cottage playhouse. Then I found a sticker. It looked like it had a barcode, and when I scanned that, sure enough, that worked. So, but I delivered to an interesting place. It was a house right on the side of the road, on a major road here. And I noticed that this house used to be a gas station. I had a single door in the middle of the house, but I noticed at the front there were concrete platform where two small gas pumps would have been placed. The reason I recognize it because that's very similar design of my uncle's gas station back in Mississippi. But he had two he had two pumps also, but he had the front porch, so to speak, of the building was wide enough for a car to come in under the porch, and then another car on the other side. This one didn't have that much room from the porch, so it just gas up on the side. But yeah, I noticed that little house used to be a long time ago, probably from the 50s, 60s, a gas station here along this road. So, well, 2 shopping orders this morning. I think that's going to be it for a while because I just looked and Walmart's not, the little icon is not hot anymore. So, that means I get to go home. Didn't get a chance to eat breakfast. I'm just going to go home and eat a little, couple biscuits and wait for another shopping order because I'm not doing pickups. Not here. And Walmart closes at 6 today, which is fine because I usually shut down Spark around 3-4 o'clock. Probably sooner for today. So anyhow, plus I gotta get. I'm cooking dinner tonight. I'm fixing. In German it's called Schinkennoodle. Basically, it's Schinken is ham in German. It's a recipe my mom always made on Christmas Eve. We're gonna have potato salad, Schinkennoodle, that type of thing. And all Schinkennoodle is just you cook up some normal egg noodles, and then once those noodles are cooked, you get a big, huge bowl, microwavable bowl, preferably glass or in big plastic. But then you start putting, you kind of layer, kind of like a lasagna. You put a little thin layer of noodles. You put shredded Swiss cheese on that, and then you take like ham meat, just shred it, or chunks of ham, just full of that layer, and then more noodles, more cheese, more ham. Keep going until you build it up, kind of like a lasagna. And then on the top, you put the rest of the cheese to cover the top. Then you microwave that thing I microwave it, but if you're in a glass bowl or bake safe, container, you can put that whole thing in the oven and bake it so the cheese melts. And it's good. It's kind of like a German version of mac and cheese, but with ham and Swiss cheese mixed in, so to speak. It's kind of similar to that. So, but yeah, gonna head home. The Walmart symbol is turning yellow. Anyway, head home. Well, I'm actually going to drop by Walmart just in case I can pick up a shopping order. If not, I'm going to head home. So, let's see what happens. See you in a little bit. Well, just got another shopping order. But I've been seeing several other pop-ups, first come, first serve. They're all pickups. I'm not doing those anymore. Not in this area. So, but got my third shopping. It's only 9:30. Not too bad. So, on to Walmart and the shopping and then the customer. See you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that shopping order. I'm out here almost in Raglan, but who I delivered to, they have a very nice property. And they just built their house. They lived on a mobile camping trailer, but it sits on a hill overlooking a meadow, and there's a pond beyond that. And they have a wraparound porch around their house, and it's what a sight. And just like they built it, and right behind the house they got a huge garage that technically you could put an RV in it, but he talked to the gentleman. He says they have a pontoon boat, so it's a drive-through, so it's roll-up doors on both sides, so they can just drive through. And they just not many neighbors, and their neighbor that they're just about 100-200 yards away, they're building their house, and that house looks nice too. It looks like a log cabin, and it's tall, but wow. They're very proud of it. So they've been building it for a year, and man, this, of course they got their toys, the ATVs and of course they got boats, and I can see their camper that they were staying in while this house was being built, but it's right on like a bluff on top of the hill, and it's flat, and behind him it's straight into the woods. Nice. Wow, I was impressed. But just picked up another shopping. It looks like it's a double customer. Bixby, take a screenshot. So yeah, that's the other thing. While I'm driving in CarPlay or Android, the little ding ding sound doesn't work. So anyway, well, cool. Another shopping, another alcohol. It's going to take a little while. Let's see. 24 items, 6 items. Oh, not many items. So good. 2 people, not too many items. So now I'm on my way to shopping. So, but yeah. Wow, and what I really like is the wraparound porch. It's the front and the sides, and you can tell the sun's going the sunset. They got the house facing the setting sun. So anyway, that was impressive, and they only been it since March in the house. But anyway, well, things looking up. Like I said, I've just been doing nothing but shopping. It's now, it's only 10:42. This is like the 4th shopping in the morning. And it's because it's Christmas Eve. If it was a normal day, I would only get 1, maybe 2 if I'm lucky in the morning. So, anyway, so let's head back to Walmart and get back on that shopping and then to those customers. So, see you in a little bit. I'm still on my way to Walmart, and I totally forgot to mention that the lady handed me cash. I felt this. I thanked her very much and wished her Merry Christmas. I just counted it. I got $20 cash tip. Wow. Merry Christmas. Oh, wow. And she did comment on my attire, and she said, "Are you with Walmart?" Or every time I come to just said no. I told her Walmart has their own Spark, but we're independent contractors. And I said, the reason I dress like this, I want to look professional. And she said, and I also got the signs on my car. And she said, yeah, when we saw your car drive, I was wondering what's going on. And I said, like I said, we're all independent contract drivers, and like I said, it's just for me. I'm a retired person, but I wanted to look professional. I didn't want to look like somebody that just got out of bed and decided to go sparking or go door dashing, at the last second, and not even comb their hair. So she kind of laughed at that. So yeah, wow, the $20 cash tip. I don't think nothing's going to top that for a long time, if ever. Boy, I really appreciate that. So anyway, let's go. Let's put me in a good mood. Let's go back in the Walmart and do that shopping. So we'll see you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that double shopping, and it's been out here. It's in. Had to deliver to Lincoln to one of the neighborhoods I've always come here as a door dasher. In fact, one of my repeat customers just live just down right that way. And in fact, I remember coming here the first time. My house is right over here. But yeah, both customers are around the same street. There are about like 20 houses difference between them. But the problem is Google Maps has not fully mapped out that neighborhood. It stops at the entrance to the neighborhood and it says, "You are here." Well, no. So you have to, it's kind of strange, it'll give you a little dot, to the house itself, but not take you by street. So I was able to navigate to that. But as soon as I dropped off the second one, and that's the alcohol thing, you gotta verify yourself before and after. And the thing is, if you're getting alcohol, you have to be inside the store before you can confirm arrival, so they can start your review while you're in the store. And then after you make the delivery, they gotta review you again. So, but just as I finished dropping that off, the second one, in the middle of searching, I got another offer, and so finally the identification process ended, and the offer's there. Is another shopping order. So I'm heading back to Walmart. But this one's pretty nice. $17 for 1.8 miles. I think that's what it is. So trying to get myself back to Walmart, but I think I'm going to leave Walmart a different way because, this Walmart only has really a true one entrance and exit. There's a million people trying to get into Walmart, last minute shopping and last minute stuff. So I think I'll go the alternate route out. Well, it depends on where, but because there's like god awful people in there, just millions. In fact, I remember while I was in line, us Spark drivers kind of grouped together so we can get to the one Spark register. Actually, there's technically two, but the lady behind us, she was mad, and I don't blame her. She's not a Spark driver, but she's a scan and go customer, and we're all in line for the one Spark that's also scan and go, And she was mad. She says, I'm paying extra to be able to quickly scan and go and get out. I said, yeah. That's not really our fault. But I guess that lady didn't want that chair anymore. But yeah, it's the person who's in charge of those registers needs to control that better. But the madness will be over here at 6 o'clock tonight, as far as Walmart is. So yeah, everybody and their cousin are out at Walmart today. And this is the most shopping orders I ever got. Yeah, of course it is. It's the day before Christmas. There's the other thing. When I lost my first job, let's see. Technically, in my career, I've never been fired from a job. Never. I've quit a job, but I was never fired. But in my career, I was let go 3 times. The last 2 times was because they wanted to hire they hire contract programmers out of India. The very first time was I worked for a very small company. There was only like two, 3 programmers. Very small. We sold point of sale software for merchants, clothing merchants, because the president and vice president used to be executives with a department store called Parisians. If you're from the Birmingham area, you probably remember Parisians. And that they also, and so they decided to start their own company, a software company. And so we sold point of sale software. It's the software that the cash registers run, but these were run on PCs. Well, what happened? The owner decided he didn't want to be the owner anymore, so he sold it to a rival. And the rival laid everybody off because the rival didn't want our software. He wanted our clientele. So he got rid of it all. He kept one programmer to keep, who was the head of the department. Since there was only 3 of us, he was the most senior. Kept him, and the rest of us got let go. So during that time, I was let go. It took me a while to find. It took me over 6 months to find a job. And I was relatively young. I was in late 30s, I think, or early 40s. Yeah. So it took me a while, and so to make ends meet, and I was living in apartments at the time, and I was dating my current wife. I worked at Target as a cashier. I also did customer service, the customer service desk. And boy, I tell you, I worked there the day after Christmas. Whew. That's something to behold. With all the returns and all that. And Target back then was very sophisticated because they could, their system, they were able to, if you didn't have the receipt, but if you had your debit, or back then, I don't think there were many debit cards. There probably were. If you had your card with you, they scan it and they can find your purchases from your card. There are several different ways to do that. So yeah, went through a long period there. Then I finally got hired by the company that I worked for 15 years. I thought I was going to retire with them, then that was the first ones that let me go because they wanted to hire contractors out of India. So that's my second stint during retail because I worked at Sears Clothing while I was going to college. I also worked in the shoe department. So people have asked, people say, why are you door dashing and all that? Why don't you just go work back to, get a job at retail? And says, you know what? I've done retail before, now twice. I would do retail if I had to, but I didn't like there is no flexibility. You have to either work early in the morning or late at night. It's hard to schedule and stuff, hard to get time off. And to be honest, I'm still physically fit somewhat, but if I had to work like, a department and stock items and stuff like that, that would wear me out. Of course now, hindsight, I'm shopping, but I only do this like twice a week, but on a schedule, and if you work at retail, I did that twice in my life. I don't want to do it again. Same thing with fast food. If I had to, I would do it. But I worked in 2 fast food restaurants while I was going to college. I worked at McDonald's and then I worked at Wendy's. Because at the time, Wendy's paid more. And at college, I did the closing shift because my classes weren't until the afternoon. So I know how it is to work retail and work fast food. And I can tell you this, those jobs, are not really meant to be full-time jobs, to support a family and something like that. Great as a part-time job, like if you're a teenager, making money, or a college student, it's great. It teaches you responsibility, teaches you how to handle your time, that type of thing. But not for me. But like I said, things could happen, I would have to. But not knocking the jobs, no. I've always said that teenagers, kids who, in high school, once they first started driving, they need to get a part-time job. Everybody needs to work fast food at least once in the food industry at least once in their life to kind of get in their mind. That's not, get them the incentive to be better and do something different. Because working, fast food, or even the restaurants, college as a restaurant, as a waitress and all that, perfect job for a part-time, because it teaches a lot, but it's not a career. But it teaches you a lot about life and how to handle things. And adversary, nothing is like, dealing with an angry customer. That's a skill. But yeah, whew, man, what a day. Like I said, just all this stuff, remind me from some of the comments that were made in the past here on the channel. I like door dashing and Spark, because I like the flexibility. I'm lucky enough that I don't need this to survive, but I need this to help get a little extra money to help pay off some bills. But I also have the flexibility if I have to do stuff that I need to take care of. I can do that on a whim. I don't have to talk to somebody, schedule ahead. Hey, I need this day off, or schedule. So that's why I like being this independent contractor and gig economy, both Spark and DoorDash. So anyhow, we're approaching the exit for the Walmart. So I'm going to head there, do the shopping, and then on to the customer. So see you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that little shopping. That was a little bit more difficult because, you know, I think it's a guy. Last minute Christmas, yeah, he was trying to buy all the ladies something or something. Because, you know, all the gifts practically are gone. And he wanted gift bags. Well, guess what? They're gone. I had to substitute every gift bag that he wanted with one that was still left over on the Christmas shop in the back where the garden center is. The only thing I was able to get that he wanted was some slippers, and I found those. But everything else was, you know, like, you know, little bath sets and all that. Well, I had to scan substitutes, and so yeah, yeah, you can tell last minute guy shopping. But as soon as I dropped her off, 2 shopping orders came up. One was $25, but it was an hour plus shopping. The one I picked was a little over $18 for 9.5 miles for 30 minutes. I looked at the items, and they're, you know, like 5 or 6 items. So another shopping, and I had to come out of Walmart my alternate route way, and that was a lot quicker. So yeah, it's a jungle out there at Walmart. It's dog eat dog because it is bad. Oh yeah, it's like I said, everybody and their brother are there. So and my wife, she's off with her mom taking care of some business on it, so she won't be home till this evening, which is fine. That's when I'll start cooking a chicken noodle. So anyway, off to Walmart for another shopping. I think this may be my 6th or 7th shopping today. Of course, you know, this is a special day, so let's see what happens. So on the Walmart and shopping and the customer. See you in a little bit. Boy, what a crazy day. I just dropped off that small little shopping order to a repeat customer from DoorDash. And how I know this, and I know specifically this was a liquor delivery, because I remember this house because the day before I had delivered directly across the street from them, and they were out, you know, in their yard. And this is during Halloween. They had all the Halloween decorations up. So, and when I got this particular liquor order and it came over here, I said, "Man, is this going to be my normal guy?" No, it wasn't. And it came over here, and I remember I talked to her. I said, "Yeah, I was here yesterday. I was over at your neighbor's house." So yeah. Then another small piece of world, just as I was delivering, another Spark driver showed up and delivering across the street, and I know I've seen him several times at the Walmart. So we're hopping, you know. And I just now picked up another shopping order. I had a choice of 2, but this one I picked was it's $19.50, but 6.7 miles for 1 item. So it's a bulky item. But yeah, 1 bulky item I can handle. So heading back to Walmart. But I think I need to stop and get gas. I think that's what I'm going to do first. Getting pretty low. So, plus, it's not like I'm picking up perishables, So, anyhow, let's get gas, then hit the Walmart and do shopping. Then the customer after that. So, see you in a little bit. Well, I just dropped off that small order. I finally saw an area that I drove by many times. It's a neighborhood that's in Talladega, but it's right on the lake. And they have some very nice townhomes here. All the residents have lake access. Very nice. So, yeah, I think that's going to be it for me today. It's been a long day. It's a little after 3 o'clock. Orders are still popping up, but I need to make an errand real quick before stores close, and then get ready for Christmas Eve. So, anyway, when I get home, eventually, I'll make the get the final and see what happens. So, see you in a little bit. Well, finally home. Had to make a couple errands before I get home, but wow, today was a busy day, and it was still busy when I decided I'm done. Yeah, and plus it's been warm today. It's been in the low 70s. Can you believe that? Christmas Eve in its low 70s. So, yeah, this was a wild one. Between chickens in the road and having the order canceled because the item was no longer in the store. So that trip got canceled. If you remember, I picked up an order that was only one item. Well, that one item was a $285 espresso machine that was on rollback. They were gone. It was all gone. So I picked up another order within the store. So anyway, whew, man. So based on today, let's see, I had 1, 2, 3. I had 7 trips today. All shopping. I didn't do any pickups. So the confirmed earnings for today is $116.15. And unconfirmed tips is $59.89. So, I made, $175 if I get the tips. Then, come to find out on top of that, I didn't realize this, that 2 of my morning trips got an extra $7. So that's $14 extra. And then another incentive that came out, I didn't realize until one of the other Spark drivers told me. Let me see what happens. Yeah, it was posted yesterday. Another incentive that if you do 4 trips, you get $28. If you do 5 trips, you get $35. Well, I did 7 trips and I got 5. So that's an extra 35 plus an extra 14. So that's an extra $49 to my already unconfirmed earnings and unconfirmed tips. So it did pretty well today. Of course, this Christmas Eve is always going to be one. So after this, it's going to probably die down. It may pick up a little bit for New Year's Eve. But yeah,
So I'm pleased with that. So, wow. But yeah, this was a crazy day. Now, as far as what I'm going to do next is that's it for me today. Tomorrow's Christmas. Everything's closed, so I'm not doing anything. Plus, I need to recover. Friday, I'm not doing anything because that's Christmas with the in-laws. Saturday, I don't know about Saturday. Depends how things going. Probably not. But then Sunday, I will spark like I did this past Sunday. I'm going to spark here in the morning, see if I get any extra orders. And then right before lunch or right after lunch, I'm going to head over to Anniston and spark over there for a while and see how that works out. So, wow. Well, I appreciate you coming with me today. Hope you had a lot of fun watching me suffer. Yeah, because it's excuse me, it's been warm today. So I had a trip canceled because the item was sold out. I had 2 incentive trips this morning, which I didn't realize, and then we had the incentive trips this afternoon. Met some very interesting people. Very like I told you about that couple that had a house on top of the hill overlooking the lake. That house really impressed me. So we're going to call it a day, and I want to thank everybody who has come along. As of this recording, I'm over 1,500 subscribers, and I just did this channel as a way to share my experience. I thought when I did this, doing DoorDash and eventually Spark was to make extra money and flexible to help pay for some big bills we still have left. I just did this YouTube thing as a side thing because I'm a techie savvy guy, and I saw people doing DoorDash on YouTube, so let me try that. So I just started, and I really appreciate everybody who has come along and subscribed. I appreciate everybody's comments, good, bad, or indifferent. I take all advice. I may be hard-headed, and it may take me a while. And like one guy, it's like talking to a brick wall. Yeah, that's true. But I am hard-headed. But eventually, that stuff will break through. I'm slow to change because I'm trying to weave my way through this. So anyway, well, enjoy the rest of your evening. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I know that you'll see this weeks afterwards, but the sentiment is there. If you're traveling, please be safe, and everybody enjoy Christmas Day tomorrow. And I hope your week finishes out wonderful. So that's it for me. Gonna go in, change, rest a little bit, and start dinner. So in the meantime, we will see you later.